little louder, a little more pronounced, but you'll notice that they both sound like they could be the same voice. The no is like the same length. One is not drawn out or one's short. They're like the same length. Definitely female. We'll just play them here and get your thoughts on it and see if you agree with me. Let's move that too, so we can hear it a few times in a row.
I think you'll kind of point out the two sections.
Yeah, you can see where the spikes are.
Where the higher spikes are.
Yeah,
right in there
here
is the first no.
That's the first no. Yeah, and the second no is right here.
Right in there.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely sound similar.
Yeah, I mean, you're in the same kind of a pitch. Definitely female voices.
Right.
They both are whispered.
And taken at two different investigations.
Taken at two different investigations, 2 weeks apart, literally.
Which the first one, you and Christy.
First one was Christy and I.
And
the second
one
was the
us
three of us. So the same female was not at either investigation. I was the only person that was at both investigations. It's definitely not my voice.
Right.
And if I lengthen this up and we listen 2 or 3 minutes before, 2 or 3 minutes after, you can hear the conversations between us.
Right.
You know, us talking about whatever, then you hear the no, and then us continuing to
Well,
talk.
the thing about it too is that you notice that it's more breathy.
Oh yeah.
All of the,
There's
you know,
no
all
doubt.
of these are more,
Yeah,
you know, with us that we were just speaking like we are now.
exactly. And like I told Jennifer, you know, if it were her voice, I don't know why she would be saying, you know, well, these are some really interesting antique shoes. Ow. And look, here's an article from, you know, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit at all. So, you know, and the same thing when Christy and I investigated. It just was out of place for one of us to be saying it. Now, for someone else to be saying it to us, it's possible.
And to point out, Christy's, as you did say earlier, Christy's grandmother did have breathing problems.
Yeah.
And also her uncle died of lung cancer. So, but the female voice could definitely be related to the grandmother.
Yes, it's very possible. Well, even the great-grandmother, you know, either one. Okay, and in this particular EVP, I found it interesting. A little history before this happened. Christy was telling me that her grandmother, I guess, collected bells, and really, it was kind of her thing. One of the things that she really liked was a bit particular about them. Those and also her china cabinet that she just adored. But in this particular instance, Robbie decided to take a bell and a piece of dental floss of all things. The only thing we could find that was there at the time.
That was the only thing close.
Right there on top, there was bell and dental floss.
Yeah,
Right
yeah.
here.
So he took some dental floss and the bell and tied it up to that clothes rod in the back room, so that if something wanted to move the bell, it would be easy to make it ring. And right here, he's talking about that. I think hanging it here by this piece of paper would be a good place to hang it, because the paper would tend to spin on its own for some reason.
And we have video of that too.
We do. So here he's saying, you know, I think this is a good place to hang this bell, and there's a couple of rings of the bell. Right afterwards, you hear a voice, in my opinion again, it's definitely a female voice, that just says,
Band.
It's a little in the background, but I think it's very clear. And play that.
I think where would be a good place to hang this is on this bar back here where we have the other stuff spinning.
You can definitely hear a woman saying bell. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, let's edit that out.
That was a little too quick.
That was. I forgot how short we were going there.
Doing the remix.
Yeah.
Rick,
Bell.
you need to ask Christy.
Yeah, and this is when Robbie's hanging the bell.
Definitely Bell.
That's what it sounded like to me.
Really.
In my opinion, and you can agree or disagree, I think it sounds like a female voice. This one sounds a little in the background, not so much a whisper though. But definitely, I think it's definitely Bell.
Bell.
Or the bell. It sounds like it's like a bell. Like it has that, something that begins it like it, but it's so quick. Which you notice with a lot of EVPs, when something is said, it's said so quick that it's hard to, and it's really hard to slow these things down too without distorting it.
I agree. I've tried numerous occasions, and it always is harder to understand
Right.
them when you slow them down. It could very well be the bell.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
almost
I
what
think
it
so.
sounds like.
I believe you're right.
I think we also need to point out that even though you are doing the editing, we in no way, shape, or form are changing the
Right.
context
We're
of
not.
the EVP.
Right.
It is still there, and we can go back and
Right.
listen to the original EVP
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
and kind of compare the two so that we are making sure that we're staying true to the original
Right.
EVP.
Yeah. And also, a lot of times when Robbie will edit one, reduce the noise or whatever to make it more clear or make it easier to pick them out,
To discern that one.
after listening to it, sometimes I'll actually revert back to the original EVP so that it's not been tampered with in any way.
Right.
You know, it's still like this is the original EVP, even though he cleaned it up and I have it on file. This is the actual original EVP as it came off the digital recorder. It's not been adjusted in any way. That's the
Right.
way it sounded when I had my headphones on and listened to it the first time. This particular EVP was, in my opinion, the most impressive one that we had throughout either investigation. We're getting ready to go outside, and we're actually discussing taking a break, and there's a pause in our talking right in this area here, and you'll hear what sounds actually like a couple of voices overlaid, and then we start talking again. And I'll just play that just as it was off of the digital recorder and get your impression. And you can tell me what you think, what you hear, if it sounds like a voice you recognize. So, here it goes.
On, not off.
It's right in here.
I'm going to turn it on. It's okay, right?
Thank you. Let's go take a break.
Yeah, I think we should take a break.
Did you hear that? Yeah.
Loop that a little bit.
In my opinion, it's the best one we caught of anything. I mean, that was just plain as day.
I think so. Definitely seems to be two separate voices. And then, I don't know. Any input on it?
I mean, I know what I think.
Get away or go away, cabinet.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the one that says,
The female voice.
well, no, the other one, the one's real breathy. It almost sounds like a male voice.
Yeah.
You know, saying, go away. Or away. Or
It
go
sounds
away.
Like, it sounds go away. I mean, definitely that's what it sounds like. I listen to it over and over and over.
Yeah.
I let my wife listen to it, which she's completely, I didn't tell her what I thought it sounded like, and she said the exact same thing.
the first part of the go is